Joined this morning by Seth Lucas, Executive Director of Poplar Point Christian Camp, just outside of Sylacauga. And Seth, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning. And many people probably are like me, not that familiar with Poplar Point Christian Camp. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we moved to Sylacauga area, or Hanover area, where the camp is located about 2 years ago. And the biggest thing that I took away from the camp is that nobody knew that we were there. So being able to talk about it this morning is huge for us. We're a Christian camp, and we've been independent camp for about 5 years, 6 years. Before that, we were affiliated with the Christian Missionary Alliance, but we went independent just to kind of spread our wings, I guess, is the best way to put it. We're a Christian camp. We do 2 weeks of camp every year. The first 2 weeks are our camps that we program and we put on. So I'm a career pastor, so I've been doing this for a while, but I've never been a camp director. So I just started doing this, and my family, we moved out to the camp. We live on property. We have about 80 acres, and like I said, we do our own camps 2 weeks out of the year, the first 2 weeks of June, and then after that, we just do rentals. So we have a bunch of church groups from the local area, some from Nashville, some from Atlanta that are coming in. All around the Birmingham metro area that come in and use our facilities.
Where is it located?
It's right in Hanover, right past the Hanover Volunteer Fire Department. If you go towards, like you're going from here towards Montgomery area, you're going to pass right by it on 231, and we're right off of County Road 59 and 34.
Now, it's close to Poplar Springs Church, right?
Yes, sir, it is. It's right down the road. They're our neighbors, and they use us for some community gatherings, and we use them if a tornado comes through. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, you're a 501c3 Christian camp.
That's right.
And so you've got 2 weeks of camp coming up in June.
We do. Yes,
so what's going to be happening?
So we do like I said, we do 2 weeks of camp. One is for kids, just completed first grade through just completed fifth grade. And then the second week, starting on June the 8th, we do a teen camp, so 6th through 12th grade, just completed. So we do our own programming. We have local people come in to do our speaking. We have worship. We have fun and games. We have a big old pool. We've got a big gymnasium, full gym. So we do a lot throughout those weeks, and then we also partner with Central for a summer program where they will come in and use our pool. We partner with Bridgeways there in Rockford. They come in and use our pool. And we also have a partnership with Angel Tree Ministries, which is part of Prison Fellowship Ministries, and we are able to do camp for free through the Angel Tree Ministries for kids who have parents who are incarcerated.
Is there openings available for this?
Absolutely, yeah. So we would love for anyone who would like to sign up can go to our website at poplarpointcamp.com and just click the tab that says Summer Camp, and you can register there.
Mm-hmm. And 2 different groups of kids, right?
That's correct.
As far as ages are concerned.
That's right, yeah. So we experimented over the last couple of years of what would be best for running camp, and we found that age specific is the way to go. So we do that elementary camp or kids camp, and then we do that teen or youth camp.
Now, this has been going on about 40 years or so?
Sir. Yes, that was kind of surprising to me, because when I came in as the director, I've been taking kids to camp in Alabama and right outside of Alabama for years and years, and I'd never heard of Poplar Point. And so one of the biggest things that was top of priority for me when we came in as the director is to just make ourselves known. We don't want to just be a place where people can come and use us and we make money off of it. We are a ministry, and we want people to be able to come in and use our facilities and find respite, find relaxation, be able to, program a camp for themselves, and we just be, like they're just coming to our house. I mean, for the simplest part of it is that people are coming to our house every day during the summer, and we get to just host them. And so it's really fun for us. I've got 4 kids and my wife, and we are basically the staff. We have lots of volunteers who come and volunteer with us throughout the summer. And we are able, everyone from my grandmother to, our neighbors who live right down the street.
Family affair, right?
Family affair, and we love it. I mean, it's super fun. We love it.
So for people who may not know Seth Lucas, give us a little bit about your background.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a career pastor, and I've been in the church world since I was 18. So I grew up in St. Clair County, and I haven't made it far out of out of St. Clair County for too long until just recently. But I was a worship pastor and a kids pastor, and so I've done a lot of music throughout the years at my home church in Argo. And then we left there and planted a church in Moody, and I was the worship pastor there for 9 years, and pretty much raised my family in Moody, Alabama. And then after that, we moved to Dothan and took on a church there as a youth pastor. And then through COVID, morphed into youth pastor and basically anything else that needed to be done. And so we moved recently, back in 2023, here to take on this position. And I've always wanted to be a camp director. It was just kind of one of those things that I thought would be fun. And I never thought it would actually happen. And my best friend was on the board here at Poplar Point, and he asked me if I was looking for, an opportunity, and I said no, but I'll check it out anyway. Yeah. And then when we toured the grounds, it was overwhelmingly a yes. And so we dove right in and didn't know what the heck we were doing, but we figured it out, and we're still figuring it out. And that's kind of the way I think the Lord's wired me, to just be able to figure things out. And I kind of like getting thrown in the deep end. So
tell us what the vision is for Poplar Point Camp.
Yeah. Well, I think we're not trying to be the biggest camp in the area. We sleep about 200, which for a lot of people, they're like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. For us, but in the camp world, you have groups calling you, what I've learned, for 300 or 400 kids, and we can't house that. But I think someone said it once when we were coming into this job, we just need to be the best little camp there is. And so that's kind of our vision. Our vision is to just be the best that we can be with what we've got, and to slowly expose ourselves to the community and get people to see that what we're trying to do is invest in people's lives, in these kids' lives, and we want them to see Jesus through what we do there. And it expands outside of our camps into the groups who come and rent our camp. We want them to see that we care for them, that we love them, that we are hosting them with the purpose of them being able to meet with God on those campgrounds. And we believe that happens daily. And so we want to see people come in and use our facilities, and people to invest in what we're doing, not because we just need the money to make it happen, but because we are doing something that's worthwhile.
Yeah. We're talking with Seth Lucas, the Executive Director of Poplar Point Christian Camp, right outside of Sylacauga, down around Hanover. And, you mentioned a little bit earlier that you're into music. A lot of kids are into music too. Sure. Is that going to be going on there as well?
Oh, we do music, and sometimes I'll be the one leading the music. Sometimes we have some local folks coming in. We actually are talking with some people who are from this area. I won't mention their names right now because it's not confirmed, sure, but they may be coming in to help us with that music. And so, I've been doing that my entire life. That's what I've done for the last 15 years in the church world. So I'm very familiar with it. And so we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for people that want to come in. So if anybody who's listening now would love to volunteer at the camp, we have a volunteer tab at the website that you can go in and click on that.
And what's that website again?
poplarpointcamp.com.
You remember when you first got started? Back in, 80s, 87, somewhere
It was
in there?
actually 1981 was the very, well, I think the Christian and Missionary Alliance purchased it back in the 1980.
Okay.
They started working on it in 81, and I think they had their first camp in 84. All the documents that I've kind of sifted through, it seems to be that they started back in 84. And they started with a field, and I think they had a pool, and they built a pavilion. And the pavilion is actually now one of the cabins that we use. They converted into a cabin over the years. And they partnered with Toccoa Falls College, and Toccoa Falls College gave them a big tent, like those military style roll-up tents, and that was their cabins. Wow. They slept out on cots in the middle of the field in these big old cabins with the roll-up sides, and so it's come a long way. Our buildings are air conditioned, so
that's a good thing.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be cool. And the pool is huge, and it's just a fun time.
When you first started, from my notes, it looks like they would bring the kids to town to go to the city pool here. Now they got your own pool.
That's exactly right. Yeah, they would bring. I mean, it's come a long way, throughout the years, and we just redid the pool last year, so it's nice and new on the inside, and. But yeah, they would bust them into town to do activities. I'm talking, it was just a big old mud pit out there, and they would have a field, and they would do whatever they did. But now we have a gymnasium. We have the field that has been sodded, and it's nice and green and luscious, and it's a thorn in my side because I have to cut that every week.
Yeah.
So, but it's great. You know, we've even had football teams that would come out there and use our facilities. I believe Prattville has come out a couple of times, and they would stay on the grounds and they would do their summer practices through getting ready for school to start back, and we feed them. That's the good thing. You can do multiple different things at the camp. You can rent the camp, and we can cook for you. You can rent the camp and you can cook for yourself. And so there's just multiple options available when we start booking groups.
So how is the camp funded?
So it's self-funded. We are funded through private investors, and our board is they give a lot to helping us be sustainable. And we're kind of still coming out of that COVID years where we had to kind of spend a lot of money and not bring in a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's as you can imagine, a lot to upkeep throughout the season. And we're a year-round camp, but we get most of our funds through the groups that come in, and through the private investors and churches in the local area. A program that we just are testing out right now to just help us increase our cash flow and to increase the use of the camp is we're sending out these opportunities for churches to invest in us year round, and then they in turn get to come and be a part of what we're doing by booking a retreat or something that's kind of like a gift. As they're investing in us, we want to give them a gift, and so they get to come use the camp. And that's kind of taken off right now. We've got 2 or 3 churches and that are investing in that, and when they do that, they actually send a kid to camp for free. So we're able to use part of that fund, the funds that they are giving, to send a kid to camp. And that's one of the things that I'm passionate about is developing a fund, a benevolent fund for kids, and especially families who have multiple kids that want to send them to camp in this local area, sending them for free.
As a parent and a grandparent of some kids are grown now and some aren't as a grandparent, but all parents and grandparents want accountability.
Sure.
Who are you subject to? Who's the oversight of this camp?
So we have a board of 12 individuals, 2 ex officio members, 1 being myself, and because we were so closely linked with the Christian and Missionary Alliance, we have a representative of the Southern District, or what's called the Alliance South now, of the Christian and Missionary Alliance, and so the assistant district superintendent sits on our board. We also have a couple of other local pastors and individuals who are in the area that sit on our board. We have one from Leeds who is my friend, who is a pastor. My personal pastor at Alex City Methodist Church sits on the board, Pastor Ronnie Palmer. And we have several other individuals who are a part of our board. Stacy Pemberton, who is out in Alex City, she's over the Trailblazers there in Alex City. She is a part of our board. And a couple of other just lay people.
Is this for boys and girls, or how does it work?
Absolutely, yeah. So we run a boys and girls camp together. We've experimented with or thought about doing some specific camps, but we were really just trying to increase our exposure. And so as we continue to grow, our registrations are probably double what we had last year already, which is amazing. But as we continue to grow, we're looking for opportunities to expand. My goal in the end would be to run a full camp that's just through the summer, just us. And we're not quite there yet, but I believe we'll get there. But it is for boys and girls, and it is age specific, like I said earlier. So that's kind of where we're going.
What about the cost for the registration and stuff like that?
So we do have some tiered cost registrations for families. So
is that on your website?
It is.
Well?
It's on our website, but it's $350 for a camper. But that includes all their meals, all the stuff that we'll need. That's for 1 week. Yeah. So June the 1st through the 6th. I don't think I gave the dates. June the 1st through the 6th is our kids camp, and June the 8th through the 13th is our youth camp. And if you have multiple kids, you do get about a 8% discount for each one. But we do have some scholarships available, and so reaching out to us is the best way of finding that, because we don't really publish that. We kind of wait for people to come to us, And if they need it, we do our best to make it happen. So we actually have raised enough money for about 8 scholarships, and those have pretty much filled up already. So we're continuing to do that work because we believe that, I just want to get kids to camp. Money will happen, people will donate, and I believe that will happen. And so we're doing our best to make it to where if anybody who comes to and asks us and wants to be a part of our camp and they just can't make that happen, we're doing our best to make it doable for them, because we know it's expensive, especially if you've got 4 kids. I've got 4 kids. I couldn't send my kids. I'd be taking out a loan just to send my kids. But we're doing our best to do the work to make people meet people's needs.
Say I send a child.
Yes, sir.
And that child, for whatever reason, gets hurt. How do you take care of that?
So we have a nurse, an on-call nurse, and sometimes multiple of them there during the week. We have, of course, we have all the waivers and all those things. We get permission from the family. We make sure that we have the insurance. We have background checked individuals. I myself are trained on lifeguard certification and CPR. We have everything that we need to take care of an individual. Plus, we have the Hanover Volunteer Fire Department, and they are there quickly. They've taken care of. Actually, we had an incident the first day of camp when my very first day, my son actually got hurt, and we thought it was a lot worse than it was, but he was actually life flighted. So I can speak from experience that they are quick and they are efficient, and we've had no other incidents except for my son. So. But he was okay, and they got him to Children's, and he had just had a couple of stitches, and he was in and out. And I think the most that we've had since then is just a couple of sick tummies and some homesickness. But we can get, because of where we're located, we can get to Ben Russell, we can get to Coosa, we can get to pretty much anywhere pretty quickly if there's a problem. And the benefit of having the location where we're at and the fact that or how we do camp, we make sure that most groups, unless they're just individuals that are in the local area, they have some leaders with them that know them, that can come in and zip them to the doctor or to wherever they need to go if there is an injury or if there is a sickness.
We're talking with Seth Lucas, Executive Director of Poplar Point Christian Camp. And finally this morning, Seth, before we leave, you got camp coming up early next month. What is the goal of the camp coming up in June?
We have a couple of goals and a couple of wins, if you will, when we do camp. First of all, it's very fast paced. We get up in the morning, we do a chapel, we do quiet time, we do breakfast, we do lunch and group games, and then a big chapel at night, and then we usually have a late night activity. So from about 7 a.m. to about 9 p.m. we are going.
So spiritual growth is important.
Spiritual growth is important. So we want them to be exposed to what we're doing in the work of the kingdom. We want them to see Jesus in everything that we do. And so we really want them not only to see Jesus, but we believe that we are Jesus to each other. And so if you can experience the love and the kindness and the benevolence of the people around you and peers, we believe that does a lot of wonders. We don't have all the fancy stuff. So we are relying on the goodness of people and connection through that. So that's our goal, is connection.
As we go this morning, Chris, if you can throw that info back up on the screen, and Seth, you can kind of walk us through what's going to be happening the first 2 weeks in June at Poplar Point.
So that it tells you kind of what, I think that's our website. Yeah, so you can go there and you can click on Learn More, and that will actually take you right to registration. Or you can click on summer camp. So you can click into there. It's a
beautiful pool, man.
Yeah, look at that. It looks actually a little bit better than that because we got it all painted and it looks nice. But you do. And I would like to say something about Clays for Campers, which is past, but it's coming up again. But before that, we got the teen camp. You can click into either one of those events, and it'll take you to the registration. So that just kind of tells you everything about what we do. And then summer camp, if you click at summer camp up at the top too, it'll take you right to where you can click into the registration.
You
That
got
was the event.
Clays for Campers. What's that
Yeah,
about?
so Clays for Campers is our annual fundraiser we do at the end of the year in December. On Friday, the first Friday in December, we host it at Selwood Farm, and we do a clay shoot. We have sponsorships. It's a whole day affair. We have sponsorships. We have individual teams. You and your buddies could get together and come out there and be a part of it. I don't know exactly the pricing, but that is the way we make our money. Through that event, and it's a fun day. We get up there about 7 in the morning. We have breakfast for you. We shoot. We do have a shotgun start, no pun intended, but we have a shotgun start at 9 a.m. We shoot until all the teams are done. We have last year we did a catfish fry, and then hush puppies and fries.
That was good.
Oh man, they loved it. And we fed them lunch, and then we did an awards ceremony. And it was it's very cold. But we had a lot of fun, and we made a good chunk of change to help us sustain us through the year.
Fantastic. Seth, thanks for coming this morning. Absolutely. And again, that website for registration for the camp's coming up in early June.
poplarpointcamp.com. And if you want the whole address, it's poplarpointcamp.com/summer-camp. So that'll get you right there, and you can hit register and register for the summer.
All right. Godspeed and continued success.
Yes,
Seth Lucas, Executive Director of Poplar Point Christian Camp, our guest this morning. We got more Daybreak just ahead. Randy's Corner coming up after the break.